notion of thinking that we're the victims when we shouldn't have to sit back and look at ourselves as victims. Me as a Black American, as an American Black, I would say I'm in a very great position. I live in the United States.
Yep.
Slavery was bad. Slavery was a common practice all over the world. I'm glad my ancestors got on that slave ship. I'm glad that my ancestors came over here because I exist today because of that. It's an unfortunate beginning, but just because our beginnings are unfortunate does not mean that our end result and our present can be unfortunate. It's what we do. It's not, my grandfather will always say this. It's not what happens to you, it's what you do about it. Something that's very important to me. Mm-hmm. And a lot of the Black politicians, rather than focusing on what we need to do to go forward, we cry and complain about the past and make that a reason to do nothing today to go forward in the future. We can't exist like that. We can't go forward.
How'd you get this mindset? Who shaped your mind? You speak about your grandfather a lot.
I do.
So what are some ways he shaped your mindset?
We would talk every day. My father was killed a few months before I was born, engaged to my mother and everything. Grandfather loved them.
In Detroit?
In Detroit, yeah. Right down the street.
Damn.
Right down the street in the same neighborhood.
Wow.
Yeah, it's life. Such is life. But I'm here.
Was he causing trouble, or he was a bystander that?
Good man, was killed, murdered. And very, very unfortunate situation. I'm here because of the excellence of my parents. But, this unfortunate beginning, as I said, did not define me. Didn't, push me in this direction to, and in the direction of, being involved in crime or being involved in this instability. I had great parents. Something unfortunate happened. But we didn't sit back and cry about it. We did something and push beyond this circumstance, this situation. So that happened. Father's gone. Mm-hmm. My mother, she lives right next door. Took care of my grandmother. She passed away in 2005. They were like best friends. They loved each other. Grandfather, he was always my mother's daddy's girl. Grandfather served 44 years in the Navy. Joined 1960, went into Navy medicine, PhD in anatomy and physiology. Great man, like Superman. So much of the worldview, politics, philosophy, came from him.
See what I mean? Like coming from a Black man who was like, and to look like he sounded like he was an intellectual, military guy. Yeah, it all depends on the type of people that's in your life. And when it comes to us, like us Black men, it all depends on really our father figures. Because like you said, his dad died early, but he had his granddad who was, quite the man. I mean, quite the guy. I mean, he was skilled. He went to the Navy, all that good stuff. And I mean, that makes a difference in a young man's life and in a young woman's life as well. Having capable parents, like, trust me, a lot of people need better parents, because a lot of these parents out here are just, they can't do anything. Some of these parents are, more incapable than their own children.
A big Schopenhauer fan. He was a big.
Well, shout out to the dads out there. Shout out to my dad.
Jean-Jacques Rousseau fan, Nietzsche. We would talk about these things all the time. And we were known as the Black Republicans in the neighborhood because we had a very conservative outlook on things. And I would say I'm more far right. I'm more aggressive in my perspective on politics.
I'm weak
compared to where they, of course, stood.
They being your grandfather.
Well, my dad was like, he's on the left. But actually, both my stepdad and my real dad's on the left, actually. But that's hilarious. But anyway, though, no, I've always been a little bit more right leaning because I kind of seen the errors of the left. Like growing up throughout my life, I kind of seen how they weren't really giving us much, but this whole social justice warrior bullshit or this whole little play they're doing and not really giving us too many results. And I've always talked to that with my dads and all that. Here's the funny thing about them. They got conservative values themselves, but, they just have a disdain for the right. And I know my stepdad, he's a Muslim, so I get where that comes from. Like, I get it. Now I get it more than ever. And then, of course, my real dad, he's in New York. He's like a New York liberal, bro, in his 50s. Like, man, bro, like old school Democrat. So you low-key do got some conservative, or I would say some Republican values, actually, or I would say some MAGA values, to be real with you. I would paint him as a non-establishment. So that's probably where I also have a hatred for these establishment Democrats and Republicans. Because none of my father figures like that shit either. They never played along with that at all. And that makes a difference in your life. Low key, your parents' beliefs or how they carry themselves or how they viewed certain topics do kind of get passed down to you in a way. Of course, you have your own way of viewing things, but let's be real. It is kind of bounced off what your parents put into you or what their ideas were.
Father,
Grandfather and mother. I think I went a little bit aggressive. As I got older, we would argue a little bit like, hey, I think we should go a little bit further with this. He's like, you need to calm down, pace yourself. I hear what you're saying, but pace yourself. I get where you're coming from, but slow down a little bit. But yeah, much of my worldview.
who influenced him?
Who influenced him? I would say that's an honest question. Who influenced him? I would say he influenced himself. He came from a very poor condition. Grew up in Culpeper, Virginia.
Man, that's kind of crazy too, because like I didn't really get to know my grandfather like that. He died when I was like like 9, 10 years old. But from what I heard, hardcore conservative, definitely a conservative. And honestly, like the few times I've seen him and I've seen how he sets his setup and his lifestyle and what he did before, he retired and all that, definitely a conservative. But it's kind of funny how most of his kids turned out liberal. It's actually hilarious.
Predicament of mother and father not in the best relationship and married, and I think he was the one son out of 6 sisters, so a lot of kids, big family. And he left home, joined the Navy, and made for his own self. Moved to Detroit in 1972. Married.
And this will be, I know I'm pausing a lot. This will be the last time I pause it, and I'm gonna let it ride for a little bit. But anybody notice how the families are getting smaller? Like, bro, like what was it? I'm one of 3, bro. Like my dad was like one of 14. Like, yeah, you kind of notice how like the further we are getting in generation, like the smaller the families are becoming. Yeah, that's a problem.
My grandmother, I think, 70, 73, 74.
Kind of shows
So,
wealth
and we've been in Detroit ever since. Own our own home.
Same area?
Same area.
You haven't moved?
Have not moved. I moved, but family hasn't moved, no.
So the area that they grew up, how far are you from where they were at?
I'm downtown.
Okay,
so yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
Got it. So who would he talk to you about? You gave some of the names right earlier that he would talk about. Who else would he talk about? Thomas Sowell? Was Thomas Sowell an influence?
Big Thomas Sowell. He loved Thomas Sowell, Clarence Thomas. But it was more of, he was always something very interesting with him, which got me into a more far right leaning perspective. I would say we would watch Westerns, Gunsmoke, Half Gun Will Travel, Bonanza. We loved it. And he would say sometimes, the most interesting story isn't always the good guy, it's the bad guy. And I'm a big history fan, so I'm like, well, what do you mean by that? And then we start talking about, well, look through history. Look at all the people that they say are bad guys, that are bad people. What do you think of them? So I start going down the list. I'm like, okay, I can mention, Napoleon. I can mention, Stalin to a degree, Mao to a degree, Hitler, Mussolini, Francisco Franco. I can mention a lot of these people. I'm like, these guys are considered the bad guys. We get told in school, these guys are the bad people. But when you examine history, it's like, well, are they? History is written by the victor. This is something that I think is always going to exist, regardless of if these people are right or wrong. But history is written by those who are in possession of it and can control it. When we would have a conversation about World War II, we would talk about the politics of the government. I was fascinated with the tanks, the battles, the planes. I grew up playing Call of Duty, so that was a big thing for me. Like, oh, this is great. This is cool. What's the politics of it? Why is it that this war went in this way? The direction and the course of history went in this direction. So I started examining each individual, left and right. And I came to the conclusion that, were bad things done, of course. But the message and what they represented for their respective people, I think were well. I'm a nationalist because I examined World War II from a nationalistic lens. I take a very far right view of the world, but doesn't mean I'm aggressive or not compassionate in other people's perspectives. Am I very liberal? No, not very liberal. Am I empathetic? To a degree. I'm looking at things from a lens of reality, not emotion. I'm looking at the lens of how things are more so than how I feel about it. And that was like the biggest red pill for me, that he pushed me in that direction.
Okay. So let's go back to the 4 blacks you were talking about. What is the solution?
The solution.
How do you fix that? If you're saying those are the 4 different types of blacks, you said the blacks, the house, and then the third and the fourth. which I'll let you say right there. There's a thumbnail to your video. How do you fix some of those issues that's being done right now in the Black community?
3 things.
Man, bro, need like Rumble or Kick, like 2 platforms they cannot kick you off of.
Crime.
Make sure to follow me on Rumble and Kick.
You've got to be really tough on crime. And when I mean that, for the Black community, you've got to be tough on crime. Not just, white people or any. Black people have to be tough on crime, because at the end of the day, it's us. We're dealing with it. Death penalty for murderers. I'm big on that. Drug dealers, rapists, people who do the harsh and very heinous crimes in our community. We've got to be very aggressive in combating them.
Damn.
That's something we don't want to have a conversation about.
I mean, death penalty for the murder. I mean, yeah, the murderers, the rapists, child molesters. Yeah, death penalty for all of them. The drug dealers, they could be reformed. They can be reformed. The other guys, though, all right, cool. Public hangings for all of them. But the drug dealers, we can reform them. The fentanyl ones, I don't know about them, though. Yeah, they kind of got to go. But maybe we do need to execute all of them. I don't know. Maybe if we did it, that harsh lesson is going to put the fear in God and everybody else. And nobody's going to want to fuck around and find out, because they've seen what happens when they fuck around and find out.
We're looking at a lot of these cases where
maybe I'm a little bit more.
We have individuals who are very undesirable, and we're looking to defend him. Look at the Carmelo Anthony case. People are defending him, not because he's innocent or not because he's a good person. This wasn't a doctor or a lawyer. It's somebody who murdered somebody, and people are willing to defend that just simply because he's Black rather than because he is innocent. That's a big problem that we have. We will defend criminals and killers before we'll defend doctors, lawyers, the best and brightest in our community.
What's your biggest problem?
I mean, look what we're doing right now with Carmelo Anthony. I mean, bro, we're literally defending a kid who stabbed somebody. Like, bro, and there's kids all over Black kids all over that's doing some great things that we do not give no recognition. Why? Because it makes the community feel insecure. But if they sit there and point out the worst of us, of course, the worst of us could sit there and feel good about themselves. Because at least I'm not like that nigga.
Carmelo Anthony case, because there's a lot of stuff that came out.
There is, yeah.
If you want to go through it, there's a lot of stuff that came out. I think they ended up, Rob, how much money did they raise? $700,000 or so on GoFundMe. That people try to help them out. None of that was used apparently for the legal fees. I think that was a public defender. But what is your core problem with the Carmelo Anthony case?
Well, my problem is this. Just because somebody, I said this on Twitter, if Carmelo Anthony was being bullied, just because he was being bullied doesn't mean you go out and murder somebody. If that's the case, and every school shooter is justified in going to do what he does because he's been.
Literally, and that's what I'm saying. It's like, it's like we're defending bitch ass nigga behavior. That's what we're defending right now. Oh, well, he has a right to stab him because he pushed him. He bullied him. So you stab your bullies? I'm sorry, but no. Like I said, you take your bully up top. You take him up with hands because he's meeting you with hands. Now, unless your bully's pulling knives out at you, okay, then take it there. But if he's just pushing you, then punch him. Like, don't go get a knife like a bitch. Like, come on, that's a bitch ass nigga move. I'm just gonna keep it real with you, right? What Carmelo Anthony did was a bitch ass nigga move, and we just need to address it. Like, no, he should have met Austin McCaff with the hands. He should have punched him in the jaw. If that's what he was, if he was being aggressive towards him, and knocked his ass out. And guess what? It just got suspended. Austin McCaff would have been alive. He would have been taking a couple of days off school, and everybody would be okay. And it'd just be an incident that we'd have never heard about. But no, you have to be a bitch ass nigga. You have to pull bitch ass nigga move and stab him when he just got pushed. Like, yeah, he has a point. It's like, bro, if that's your argument, then I guess the school shooters are all justified.
Bullied. And then also this idea that you can't move me. I can go wherever I want. I can sit wherever I want. It's like, no, you can't. You can't sit wherever you want. Someone tells you that you can't be here. You can't be here. Get on somewhere. Or go get somebody that can actually challenge it for you. We have this mindset that we're entitled to every space. And then,
like I said, they set up a tent on the bleachers and he sat under their tent. And he's like, yo, yeah, and Austin said, yo, you got to get up. And the guys went over there, and think about it. Most likely these guys are all sitting up under this tent. So it's like a group of people, AKA him sitting under that tent. He brought that upon himself, and all he had to do was get up, but he did it. And if he really wanted to fight the young man, I mean, I'll be real with you. I don't know how much of a bully Austin must have been if he just going up under his tent. I mean, how much fear of a man can you have if you're willing to go up under his tent and, you know, stand there and say, do something about it? That don't sound like you're dealing with a bully to me.
Nobody can move us at all. And at anywhere we go, that if somebody tells us to do differently, we're going to do the opposite. Now, it's a good mindset to have that on a positive direction. Someone tells me to do this and I don't think it's good for me, I'm going to go in the opposite direction. Or I'm going to be looking at things from a perspective, I want to do my own and go in my own way. But no, black people are like, no, you know, if white people came out tomorrow and said, drink water, drinking water is good, niggas will come out tomorrow and say, drinking water is bad. You should drink dirt or something. I don't know.
I mean, no, actually, no, they're already doing that. No, yeah, bro, you don't understand how much black people are actually dehydrated because they don't drink that much water. Like, bro, all they drink is like soda, alcohol, and like juice. And they be saying, bro, like black people will literally drink like grape juice. Okay, that's fucked up. They'll drink fruit punch and be thinking that they're actually getting hydrated. It's hilarious.
You should drink mud.
Why though? Is it because white man's the enemy?
It's become that. It's become that. White man is the enemy. And the enemy at the end of the day is ourselves. When we look at the communities, every problem that exists is because of us. Now, we could talk about the historical conditions and what happened, but this is in the 1970s and 80s. Where I would say that argument holds up well. The residual effects of Jim Crow still exist in hiring, banking. I would say that. If this was 1970s and 80s, I would agree. But this is the 2020s going to the 2030s. My generation, Gen Z, there's nothing holding me back from going in a positive direction, going in a better direction. There's nobody holding me back systemically, saying that I cannot go somewhere, that I cannot do something. We believe that everything, every fight, cases like this, is like another civil rights case. It isn't. They killed one of ours, so one of ours is in trouble. We got to defend them no matter what. No. What does it do? It shows the level of tribalism and instability within our community.
Yeah.
The lack.
Yeah, and it's like that's a scary type of tribalism. It's like, hold on, we defend ours no matter how wrong they are, no matter how bad of a case they got. Yeah, no, that we can't do that, guys. That's not where. And just because it's against a white man, that's why we're trying to defend them like this. Yeah, no, let's just cut that bullshit right now. And honestly, like I said, I think they're just trying to pop off a race war, but we'll see.
Of control, self-control that we have. We can't exist going in this direction, but I want to go back to, you said about the three solutions. This is very important.
First, you said crime.
Crime, being tough on crime. Second is education. The schools in the black community, education is not focused too much. We care more about producing the next basketball players, football players. And this is very true. People say, no, this is a stereotype. Well, stereotypes exist for a reason. We care more about producing more entertainers than we do leaders. What leaders do we have in the community? Don't have any.
None.
Most of the leaders and heroes that black people have today that don't mention rap.
I mean, people will say Dr. Umar Johnson when really he's just a sellout and he's honestly a fraudster and he defrauded people out of a whole lot of money, which he should be sued for because he's promised a school that has yet to be built, which is sad because a guy goes out there and get us all hyped up for a black school of excellence and it turns out to be a complete fraud and nobody else wants to pick up the idea at all. But hey, it is what it is. And then like who else? Oh yeah, Tariq Nasheed, the great divider of the black people. Like, bro, his whole FBA movement has been nothing but pure ignorance. And it's like the most low IQ group of people too. It's like sad. Like all they want to do is sit there and be hateful towards their own people. It's like, what are we doing? And these are considered black thought leaders in our community. I'm just like, nigga, we're cooked. And these are our thought leaders.
Rappers, football players, basketball stars. He's got money. He making money. I don't need niggas to make money. We need niggas to think for themselves and build for themselves. We got enough niggas making money. That's fine.
Literally. And you want to know how I know when niggas don't be thinking for themselves, bro? Niggas be repeating the same talking points from Tariq Nasheed, Dr. Umar, Conscious Kai, or whatever the hell his name is. Like, they just repeat the same talking points. They don't have a mind of their own. They don't think things through for themselves.
And Danny, you can make money in this country. It's a beautiful country that you can make as much money as you want in this land. We need leaders. And this is the beautiful thing about America. We have dominated the world for the last century because we've made leaders in this country. All the money doesn't compare. Leaders have been made.
So Democrats would say, you don't think Obama's our leaders? You don't think Barack Obama's a leader?
Obama is a symbol of black excellence that black people ignore.
True.
They look at Obama as more of a revenge symbol than a symbol of excellence. Some do. Some look at him like, oh, Obama's a great person to look up to. But they get wrapped into the politics of
I
it.
mean, yeah, I know a lot of people don't like to admit that, but I mean, he is a well-educated black man, well-spoken, well-educated black man. Like, at the end of the day, I mean, who would you want your kid to be like? You have the accolades of Obama or what? Your favorite rapper? Like, let's just keep it real. If you really want, like, let's just keep it real here. And honestly, I mean, who do I want my kid to be like? Do I want my kid to talk like Trump, or do I want my kid to talk like Obama? Like, let's just keep it real here.
The Democrat,
I
Republican.
mean, what, you want your kid acting like Trump out in public, or you want your kid acting like Obama? Okay, then.
I'm not looking at that. This goes back to what I said about looking at things from a realistic lens rather than this emotional blue team, red team lens. I'm looking at how the reality of things are more so than all the other petty stuff behind it. But Obama's fantastic in terms of what he symbolized. Now, the politics of it, him being a Democrat,
it is black excellence at the end of the day. I mean, bro, what was that? Did he go to Ivy League? Yeah, he did go to Ivy League. So, I mean, bro, Ivy League, I mean, what was it, like a really prestigious high school? From high school and up. He's been the top performer all the way through. And it's kind of crazy how we don't bring that up enough. Like I said, he's right. We do use him as a get back. Oh, yeah, the white man didn't want a black man. Look how they were crashing out and trying to say he wasn't even American. Look at them being racist. And I mean, I ain't gonna lie, they did feed into that. But in all actuality, it shouldn't have been looked at like that. It should have been looked at, yo, here's a black man in a suit, well educated. Maybe this is the time that we try to get our black boys to mimic this image. Maybe we not mimic his politics, but mimic the background at least.
It's done underneath his administration, completely different. That's a completely different conversation. But going back to that education, it's very important for us to focus on education, being tough in the schools on education, separating the kids that want to do well, that are educated.
Man, oh God, we need to take the phones and bring back the paddles, guys. Take phones, bring back paddles. We're fixing education.
Want to work and show that they have this drive to do more. Separate them from the kids that are struggling.
Yeah, Rob, I think you have some stats on that. If you want to pull it up on specifically with education, you had one of those charts that you did with Perplexity this morning. It shows bachelor's degree or higher degree by race. Okay, so if you look at this, bachelor's degree or higher by race, ages 25 plus, this is from the U.S. Census Bureau. Asians at the highest, 59.3. Whites 41.8, national 37.7, blacks 27.6, Hispanics 29. Why is that? Why is education not a priority based on these numbers?
Because we've pursued this idea that making money and being flashy with it.
Yeah, literally. It's just not what's seen as sexy in the black community. It's not. I mean, bro, it's like being a doctor is not seen as, I guess, attractive. But I mean, being a rapper, an athlete, yeah. Any type of musician, really, in the black community. Really just being in entertainment. Being in entertainment is more looked on upon, or is more like uplifted than being in STEM. And that's just the reality of the black community right now. And it shouldn't be like that, but it is what it is. I mean, bro, it got to a point where we've even made some of these people our key philosophers, and these people are nobody to take philosophy from.
Is more of a goal and a priority than anything. Look at the high school graduations. And the proms.
Yep.
Black people flashing a bunch of money, living a life.
I'm gonna catch a lot of heat from this, but Tupac was nobody to get philosophy from. Okay? Biggie was nobody to take advice from. Do you hear me? Especially on health. Like, let's be real. Ice Cube, okay, he's an exception.
Style that they'll never live, and celebrating like it's a wedding. And really, it is a wedding. It's a wedding that begins their marriage to mediocrity and the bare minimum. That's the unfortunate reality of it. And we don't have to be like this. The message I have today is that we don't have to be like this. This doesn't have to be our direction.
And don't got
I don't think there's a voting out of this. We can vote differently all we want, but if we don't think differently with that, we don't behave and act in a different way, in a different manner. It doesn't matter how we vote. It doesn't matter what we subscribe to, who we vote for. What matters is who we are at the end of the day. And I don't like the direction that we're going. I refuse, as Gen Z, as 25, I refuse to allow another generation of Black Americans to sit back at the age of 40 or 50 and say, damn, we failed too. That's how I look up to the older generation of blacks.
Bruh, I ain't gonna lie. I felt that line right there. It's like, I just refuse. Like, I refuse to sit here 40, 50 years old looking at America, looking at this economy and all this and being like, damn, I didn't do enough to help out the next gen. I refuse to do that. Because, like, yeah, I do feel like Gen Z does kind of have that guilt. I know the boomers, some of them have that guilt once they get over their hubris. But yeah, I don't want that to be us. That's why I say we're up next. I'm talking about the millennials. I mean, y'all really need to be taking hold. But yeah, the millennials and Gen Z it's damn near up to us at this point. If it ain't us, then I'm gonna be real, this country's cooked. All right, we're cooked. If we leave it up to the boomers, guys, we are cooked. It gotta be us. It's either us or nobody.
Like, damn, what you guys do for the last 4 years? Oh, we sat back and drank and smoked, and your daddy was the shit back in '93. Well, that's cool. That's nice. But what do you have to show for today in our community? The music's great. I like the beat. What was it talking about?
True.
The money looks great. You got all the flashy cars, but you're on Section 8 housing and you're living in a poor area where it's filled with crime and the roads are broken up. We got all these black politicians. We're voting for them because they're black, but then they're embezzling money and not giving you the same returns that you are asking for.
Yeah, I seen that shit too, though. Somebody gets Section 8 housing, and because they're saving so much money on housing, they go out there and they get another monthly bill, which is crazy because you would think you would use that to save up money to put yourself in a better position to where you don't need the government, but instead you entrench yourself more in the government's, I guess, financial assistance. And now you got what? You got your Section 8, you got your car note, and you got your furniture and all this good stuff and whatever else you're putting on credit, and you just make yourself more poor. And that's what a lot of black people do.
You're talking about black proms.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see that story about the kid bragging about $10,000? What happened to him?
Yep.
Was it the kid? This was in Saginaw, Michigan, if I'm not mistaken.
Is that the one, Rob?
Yeah, he was well dressed, flashing money, and a bunch of haters came there and killed him and took his money.
Video of it?
He got killed.
He got killed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dion.
You had the video on the group text, Rob.
Yeah, I did a video on him. It's unfortunate what happened. And this isn't Saginaw. This is 90 minutes from me.
Makes sense.
Yeah. So why is that a thing, though? Why is that happening? Like, what's the logic behind me?
Like, you gotta understand, like, living in the hood is a crab in a barrel type of is crabs in a barrel. Like, they see one kid up, they want to tear that kid down, if it means killing him. They want to kill him, take his money, and that be that. It's like, bro, living in the hood is a crab in a barrel, like reality. Because they have that mentality in their head. If they see one of their brothers making it up, they're gonna do whatever they can to pull him down. And that's exactly what it was. Hey, man, you see one of your homies come up, and all of a sudden you're thinking about, oh, how can I rob him? How can I steal from him? How can I play him? Instead of how can I help him? How can I get in on this myself? It's like I said, in the hood, it's a crab in the bucket mentality out there. Because you do something good, you come up, and instead of your friends trying to help you, they're trying to find a way to set your ass up. And trust me, I know.
$10,000 to brag about it, and then somebody comes and gets you and they kill you. Where did that start? Is it purely from hip hop music, or?
I would say it's purely from the hip hop music, which is an industry. This is a very deep conversation we're going to have here when we talk about the hip hop industry and the music. The hip hop industry is a lot of black people. This goes back to the House Negro conversation. A lot of black people that are pushing black children, black men to make this music. And now we're seeing black women becoming more popular in their degenerate music. And what does it promote? Getting money, promiscuity, just the dysfunctional household, dysfunctional existence. And kids like this who will go out and fall.
All right, guys, let me go ahead and end it on this one, guys. We've been going long enough, but I appreciate the support, guys, man. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to the channel by tapping the subscribe button above, and make sure you double tap that screen or smash the like button on your way out, guys. This is S.E.T with S.E.T Media, guys. And like I said, make sure you subscribe and hit that bell because I'll be releasing clips of this stream later on. All right, guys, appreciate the support. Peace. And I'll go ahead and I'll leave you with this right here.
Hey, President Trump, how are those mass deportations going?
They said, you got to lighten up on this. We have a lot of heart for people. They came in illegally, but they're good people, and they're working now on farms.
I have proposed, and President Trump has concurred, that this surge operation conclude.
Oh. Well, Surely, no new wars in the Middle East like you've campaigned on for years, right?
Our president will start a war with Iran because he has absolutely no ability to negotiate. We should have never gone into the Middle East. We should have never gone into the Middle East. Under my leadership, we will turn the page forever on those foolish, stupid days. They said, he will start a war. I'm not going to start a war. I'm going to stop wars. You're not going to have a war with me, and you're not going to have a third world war with me. The United States military began major combat operations in Iran.
Donald Trump issued an ultimatum to Iran: open the Strait of Hormuz within 48 hours or America will attack their power plants.
Why is the Pentagon going to ask Congress for an additional $200 billion?
So we're in very good shape, but we want to be in the best shape.
Oh. So, why are we going to war with Iran again?
You know, if we didn't do that B-2 attack, Israel would have been wiped out. They would have had a nuclear weapon within 2 weeks after that.
Because Israel was determined to act, with or without the U.S., our Commander-in-Chief and the administration and the officials I just named had a very difficult decision to make.
Miriam gave my campaign, indirectly and directly, $250 million. She was number one. Miriam and Sheldon would come into the office. I think they had more trips to the White House than anybody else I can think of. But they were very responsible for so much, including getting me thinking about Golan Heights.
Oh. Well, I'm sure there will be zero repercussions for this war, and it's probably only going to go on for like a week, right?
As we head into week 4 of this war.
As gas prices climb across the country, President Trump pressured allies to help secure safe passage through the Strait of Hormuz.
A major shipping route for oil has effectively been shut down amid this war, sending shockwaves through the markets, with gas jumping nationwide from an average of $2.92 in Kansas to more than $5 a gallon in California.
Look, gas prices are up, and we know they're up, and we know that people are hurting because of it.
Well,